Last time, we began covering a story where Bardock went Super Saiyan against Frieza, and while the fight itself wasn't too long, it had very long-lasting effects. And now, we'll be seeing what happens in place of the Saiyan saga on Earth. What's next for Goku? And just as important, what's next for Frieza? We'll be seeing all that and more in this part 2 of What If Bardock Went Super Saiyan Against Frieza. Let's see what's been happening with Frieza so far. Decades have passed by now, and his anxiety over the Super Saiyan is still there a little bit, but much more muted than before. He's also tried seeking out the Wish Orbs, but had no luck. He initially wanted to get them to see if he could use that to find the Saiyans, but there was no luck in finding the Wish Orbs. His army began searching a lot, and they eventually came across Namek. Or at least the idea of going to Namek, because when they went there was nothing. The planet was gone. Frieza has no clue of what happened, but it probably was just a rumor anyways, so he puts that in the back of his mind, not caring about the Wish Orbs any longer. This is actually because King Kai had a plan, which ended up working. He caught wind of Frieza trying to get the Dragon Balls, so he actually warned Namek. Thanks to this, the Namekians were able to summon Porunga, using it to hide the planet, keeping it completely away from Frieza's army. While they do have a lot of warrior Namekians, they're not going to be enough to handle the Frieza force and Frieza himself. And it's probably a lot better to just not have combat anyways, instead of going into a fight that they probably would lose. And it worked out perfectly. Frieza stops caring about the Wish Orbs and is not going to seek out Namek, and even if he tried to again, it's not going to work. This was actually Frieza's first goal. His army spent years scouring the universe trying to find the Wish Orbs, but nothing came of it. So, he resorted to manual methods, although by this point, his anxiety has kind of died down about the Saiyans. He feels like if a Saiyan were out there trying to get him, well, they would have appeared by now, and the Super Saiyan would have risen up, being pretty noticeable, but nothing's happened yet. And it is kind of tough to search for Saiyans because, well, they don't even know where to look. It's a very arduous search. And after a few years into it, the army just kind of gives up. Searching for Saiyans even on one planet would be tough. They'd essentially have to wipe out the entire planet just to see if there's any Saiyans there. Which isn't ideal, especially because he'd have to do that for pretty much every planet he owns, and the ones he doesn't own as well. Not that he has any qualms about it, it's just very inefficient. The search is nearly impossible, and nothing really comes of it, so Frieza stops caring as much. And that brings us to where we are today. Frieza actually does have a new idea by now. Maybe he should get some new recruits for the Frieza Force. Just expand the army a bit, because if he wanted to search again, having more people would definitely be helpful. Let's go back to Earth now, about a year after the last part. Goku's training with Kami concludes. Kami feels that by this point, Goku has more than enough strength and speed to actually make it across Snake Way, pretty easily in fact. It still is going to take a while, but the whole point of this training was for him to fly across it faster. Goku can fly pretty perfectly now, and his strength will definitely be enough to handle King Kai's training. Kami estimates that he could pass Snake Way within a few days or so. Goku is a bit concerned about food, but he's just going to take a Senzu Bean along. That'll keep him full for the entire time. Krillin has actually been trying to keep up and does want to go to King Kai's planet, but he's not necessarily ready for it yet. Goku has somehow gotten so far ahead of him, and Krillin wonders why. Goku has always been far ahead, that's pretty standard, but now the gap is widening even further. It's interesting, it's almost like he's a completely different species. He doesn't grow like a normal human, but Krillin's proud of his friend and wishes him luck. Goku gets a special pass to go into Otherworld, but not a special pass across Snake Way. He's gonna have to do that all himself. He flies across and about a day passes. Goku's starting to feel hungry. He didn't want to take the Senzu Bean right away because he wanted to use it for when he started to feel that hunger. So now he's starting to fly a little bit slower, but the Senzu will be a nice pick-me-up. He pulls it out of his pocket, and he immediately drops it. Goku fumbles the Senzu Bean a bit, trying to catch it the best he can, but it eventually falls off Snake Way and falls downwards. Goku panics. He then jumps down trying to chase it. Oh crap, if he loses that Senzu Bean, he's gonna die of starvation up here. He doesn't have enough energy to go forward, and he probably doesn't have enough to turn back now. Crap, he probably should have taken the Senzu Bean right away. And as he dives downwards, he is able to catch the Senzu Bean, but he notices he's not on Snake Way anymore. He's way far below it. He's actually on the ground now, in some strange place. He isn't really sure where he is, but from what he heard, this is apparently hell. Really? This is hell? Honestly, it's not what he imagined, but it seems he fell down here on accident. Luckily, he found the Senzu Bean and picks it up. All he has to do is eat it, and he should have enough energy to fly back up. But right before he pops it in his mouth, he hears someone yell out at him. Or at least he assumes he yells out at him. Someone simply yells out, "Hey," and then asks him what he's doing in that weird outfit. Goku has no clue what he's talking about, and then the guy calls him Bardock for some reason. Again, Goku has no clue what's going on here. He eats the Senzu Bean, and he's about to leave, but the guy approaches him. He realizes now that this isn't Bardock. He looks just like him though, although that scar is gone and his tail's missing too. But that face, that hairstyle, he looks just like him. Well, maybe he's just another low-class Saiyan. Goku questions what he means. He thinks this guy has the wrong person. He might be confusing him for someone else. He has no clue of what a Saiyan is, but then he notices that other guy has a tail. That's interesting. The only people he knows with a tail are, well, himself and Gohan. Are there other humans out there that have tails? And the guy has no clue what he's talking about. No, he's a Saiyan. That's what he was assuming Goku was. But this guy starts to put the pieces together. He introduces himself as Tora, and he says he's a Saiyan, and he thinks this guy might be too, and he asks just out of curiosity, what planet is he from? Goku says he's from Earth. So he had a tail and he's from Earth. He tells Goku to wait a bit. He pulls out some weird device, putting it on his face, and then he starts talking through it. Goku then senses a powerful energy approaching. There's a small amount of maliciousness in it, but it's not a huge amount. But he can't believe what this power is that he's sensing. Goku isn't too sure what's going on, but as the guy gets closer and closer, Goku quickly makes out that this guy has the same hairstyle, and pretty much the same face. The guy's eyes widen as he lands in front of them. He looks completely dumbfounded, asking if this is really Kakarot. Goku says his name's Goku. He's a human from the planet called Earth. The other guy has no doubt about it. He introduces himself as Bardock. This is exactly what he foresaw before. He had a vision that he would meet Kakarot again someday. Knowing that he would meet him in Hell, he told the squad about this too, and even told them about Kakarot's origin. And Bardock has no doubt in his mind, this is Kakarot, but why does he not know his name or the fact that he's a Saiyan? Well, Goku says he never knew who his parents were. He was just dropped off in a forest one day. His true parent is Grandpa Gohan, the guy who raised him. But his biological parents? No, he doesn't know them. He actually doesn't have too many early memories, and he's not really too sure why. But again, Bardock has no doubt about who this is, and he tells Goku his identity. Why does he think they look so similar? Why does he think they both had tails at one point? The fact that Goku doesn't remember his past at all. Doesn't he find that a bit strange? Well, yeah, but Goku doesn't know what he's getting at, and Bardock says it flat out. He's his father. It is a pretty big shock to Goku, especially because, well, he wasn't expecting to meet his father today. He kinda does have to get back to Snake Way because he really wants to get to Kid Kai's place, but he is a little bit intrigued to know about this. He doesn't really know why he lost his memory, but what this guy's saying seems to be true. He seems to know a lot about Goku, and while Goku can't remember exactly when he got to Earth, Bardock even mentions when he sent Kakarot away, and even when he was born, which pretty much just about lines up with Goku's actual age, as far as he knows at least, since he's still kinda estimating. Bardock says that Goku actually met one of his squad mates, and he asks what Goku knows about his past. He doesn't even know that he's a Saiyan, so does he know anything about the Saiyans at all? Actually, no. So, he's an alien? Does that mean his son's an alien too? He has a son as well? Interesting. There's a hybrid Saiyan out there. Bardock tries to tell a very simplified version of the Saiyans' history, at least the part that he lived through. And Goku isn't too sure what he's getting out of this. It is nice to learn this and all, but he guesses his father's here for some reason too. He never really cared too much about his upbringing, but then something strange hits him. He feels a sudden jolt, and he can see clearly in his head. A memory appears. He doesn't know when it's from, or where it's from, but he remembers looking through what seems to be some sort of glass door or something, with two people standing over him, one of them being Bardock, and one of them being a woman. And he remembers who these two are. Those are his parents. The name Kakarot, he remembers that too. He has no clue what just happened, but his memory just got jolted, or at least one of them. This is pretty mind-blowing right now, especially hearing about Bardock's backstory and what killed him. So there's some evil emperor out there who might actually come after Goku one day as well. Bardock says that he has a strange ability, the ability to foresee the future. He can't prove it to Kakarot, but he does know one thing. He assumes that Kakarot will be the one to defeat Frieza one day, just as he promised to Frieza all those years ago. And Goku is getting pretty hyped up to hear this. This guy sounds powerful and could make for a fun fight, but he sounds a little too powerful. How will Goku stand a chance against him? So Bardock assumes he doesn't know about the Super Saiyan yet. A strange aura surrounds him as Bardock then powers up. His hair flickers golden, his eyes turn a bluish-green color, and his power shoots up dramatically. It blows Goku away, figuratively and literally. He sensed Bardock's strong power before, but now, this is even more intense. He's so much stronger than before with the simple transformation. Bardock says he unlocked this power against Frieza, but it unfortunately wasn't enough to defeat him. Had he been stronger by default, this power would have raised his power even further. He knows by now that Goku is here by accident. He shouldn't be in Hell. He's actually going somewhere to train. Bardock then powers down. He knows Kakarot might not care too much about his past. He grew up on Earth after all, and was raised there. Bardock does understand that. But Bardock at least wanted Kakarot to know these two things. He wanted him to know about Super Saiyan and the potential threat of Frieza. He actually heard this from Raditz because that's how Raditz died. So Goku learns he had a brother as well. Frieza was trying to seek out all the Saiyans to eliminate the rest of them, which is why he killed Raditz, and that's how Bardock knows this warning. He tells Goku he should probably get back to his training. Where he's going seems to be a pretty good place to train, as far as Bardock can tell from what he's saying. But he tells him to keep that in mind. Try and access the Super Saiyan form. It's a form that he accessed out of a need. He felt intense emotion bubble up within him, and when it exploded, it made this power happen. He knows it's not a legend anymore, and the best part is, Kakarot is his son, which means he should be able to do this as well. Bardock hasn't actually seen any other Saiyans do this down here, because not many of them got to keep their bodies. And the ones that did are just simply not capable of this. There's no reason for it. But he knows Kakarot can. Goku has a lot to think about. Goku can't really stay here and learn more. He's not even supposed to be in Hell right now, and King Kai is expecting him. But maybe sometime down the line he can come back, just to learn more about this form in case he can't access it himself. But it's a nice challenge. He wants to access it himself. That makes it way more fun, and way more fitting for him. He thanks Bardock for showing him all this, and maybe he'll swing by Hell on his way back. It was nice to meet him though, and learn a little bit more about his history. The Saiyans definitely don't seem like great people. Hell, not even his father seems like a great person, even with the little good things he did at the end of his life. But still, Frieza sounds like a much huger threat, and he needs to focus on the bigger picture here. Frieza would be a great opponent to fight just to test his strength, but there's also the fact that Frieza simply might just be a threat in general. He might be out for Goku and Goku doesn't even know about it. Not just that, it puts the entirety of Earth at risk. He thanks Bardock and says his goodbyes, as he flies back up, traveling across Snake Way once more, rejuvenated by the Senzu Bean. And one thing I'll note too, because this isn't something that characters will discuss, and it won't be something on Goku's mind. Goku has no desire to revive the Saiyans right now. They don't seem that great from what Bardock said, and they've been dead for a while anyway, so reviving them at this point would be kinda pointless. Especially because he really only knows Bardock. While he might actually want to meet Raditz and Gine, he hasn't met them yet. So yeah, right at the moment, Goku isn't thinking about that. A few more days pass, and Goku eventually does get to Kinkai's planet. Immediately feeling the immense gravity of it, but kind of adjusting to it pretty quickly actually. Kinkai says his training with Kami has definitely been paying off. He knew that Goku would have been a great student, but seeing him adjust to 10 times gravity that quickly, that's pretty amazing. He looks forward to training Goku, and Goku greets him as well, thanking Kinkai for the opportunity to be here. Kinkai was still thinking over what to tell Goku, or if he should tell him anything at all about his origin. But it looks like he doesn't have to worry about that anymore because Goku's actually the one to bring it up. He asks Kinkai, does he know anything about the Saiyans? And Kinkai's smile disappears, so Goku does know about the Saiyans. And he tells Kinkai of what happened, how he accidentally fell down to hell, and who he met down there. Kinkai turns away, looking off in the distance. He tells Goku he was contemplating whether to tell him or not in all honesty. But since Goku already knows now, there's no point hiding it from him. He asks how much Goku learned about the Saiyans' history, and Goku says he learned enough to know that his people weren't really that great. He's actually kind of a rare case. And Kinkai says he knew that Goku would at least recognize that. He tells Goku he's different, and he's glad Goku went down that better path. Biologically, Goku may be a Saiyan, and Bardock is his father. But more than anything, Goku's an Earthling. Grandpa Gohan's the one who raised him. And that single meeting isn't going to change anything about that, but it does make him wonder about his species, and especially the potential threat of Frieza, as well as what potential heights he can grow to now that he knows that he's an alien. That honestly explains a lot. The fact that he used to have a tail. The fact that he grows so much stronger than everyone else around him. He always knew he was different, but didn't know it was that reason. Kinkai understands why Goku might be concerned about Frieza, but he asks Goku to make one promise. Promise that he won't face Frieza. It's far too dangerous, it could bring out even more disaster. It could lead Frieza to Earth somehow. And because of that threat, he tells Goku flat out, he won't train Goku if that's what he's here for. But Goku says that's not what he's here for. It will stick in his mind. He is a bit concerned about Frieza showing up. But he understands what Kinkai means. Hearing more about Frieza from Bardock, as well as Kinkai himself, he knows it's best to not seek out Frieza, but he wants to at least prepare for it. He tells Kinkai his motive hasn't changed. He wants to come here just to grow stronger in general. He always wants to go stronger regardless. But he does let Kinkai know, if Frieza does happen to show up one day on Earth, he still wants to be able to defend himself against him. He probably will have to fight Frieza one day, but he'll only do it if necessary. He promises Kinkai he won't do anything rash here, especially hearing how terrifying he is, and the fact that Goku barely knows anything about what's going on just yet. And Kinkai says he can accept that. He does agree, Goku should be prepared. So now it's time to commence their training. Let's go over to Frieza. It's been a few years since he started recruiting more people for the army, and also started to search for more Saiyans. There are some Saiyans out there, but they're all particularly hard to pinpoint, including Goku. So the army tried a different method. They're going to start searching for any strong powers that they could find, specifically on inhabited planets. But interestingly enough, one day they come across some planet that seems to be uninhabited, but there's a really high power spike on there. So the Frieza force immediately checks it out, and what they find shocks them incredibly. There's 2 Saiyans on there. An older Saiyan named Paragus and his son Broly. They're immediately brought to the Frieza force, and this confirms what Vegeta said. There are actually other Saiyans out there. But these 2 seem to not know what happened. They are completely separated from Saiyan society. They don't even know the Saiyans were all killed, but it seems like Paragus actually likes that. He's glad the Saiyans are gone, as well as the planet, and especially the king and the prince. But Frieza thinks, maybe he could use these Saiyans. He knows nothing about Broly's power except that there was a weird power spike on the planet one day. But maybe these Saiyans could be used as bait, drawing out the other Saiyans, if any others are out there. Obviously he doesn't say this outright, and Paragus mentions the fact that he doesn't know about any other Saiyans sent out there. But it's pretty traditional for Saiyans to be sent out as kids, so there might be some on lower power planets. Broly at least was exiled, and Paragus ended up there because he got stranded. But there could still be others out there that never got the memo, or couldn't come back because they were weak kids. So, theoretically, there could be other Saiyans out there, ones that blend in with the population, both in power and appearance. Frieza didn't actually think of this. Are there any species similar to Saiyans that they could blend in easily with? And Paragus says not that he knows of. But this is interesting. Maybe he could find a planet like this eventually. He already has tried this method of searching, but he couldn't really find any planets that fit that description, with a species that was similar enough to Saiyans where they could blend in. Maybe he isn't looking far enough. And that does make him think of what his next move is, now that he knows that Saiyans are actually out there. And as for Paragus and Broly, he's not going to make them go on any missions either. He's keeping them close because once he finds other Saiyans, he's going to kill them. They'll just be used as bait for now. This is where we leave off for now. What do you guys think about this part, or what's going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you want to see more parts of the series, or if you just want to help out the channel and see more videos like this one. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.